Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go. And listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right then. Good evening, everybody. Time for Sloppy Seconds. And how the devil are you? And that could actually be my co-host this evening. Is that Brown? But we're looking at the Women's Euros this evening. Dan's joining me in a second. He's done his homework, and let us know if you agree with him, because he'll be giving us who he thinks is the best player from each team so far. So we went through that. I can't keep a straight face. But please, in the meantime, give us a subscribe. It's at the bottom there. If you're on Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, smash those likes as well. It does help with the old algorithms. And if you are listening on your favourite podcast platform, thank you for sharing your ears with me. I really, really do appreciate it. This is my co-host here this evening. What can I say? He's been enjoying the sun, and I don't mean the newspaper, because he doesn't buy that anymore because they don't have page 3. Let's welcome Dan.
Hey. Sorry, I'd have put everything away, but I was too busy enjoying myself to your intro, so all that rocking along.
It's Ginger Spice.
And he's here collaborating with Old Spice. So.
Well, indeed. Here he is. Let's give Dan his proper introduction.
His name is Daniel Robert Morehousimus, Commander of the Armies of the Turf, Corporal of the Championship Team's fan club, and loyal servant to the true Emperor, Chris Florian. Father to various children, husband to a waggish wife, son to a father just found, who is amazing, awesome, and incredible, and he will have his vengeance in this life or the next.
Or this season or the next.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I couldn't get a gladiator voice. Bane was the nearest I could get to.
No, I like that.
Turf Morehousimus, how the devil are you?
Morehousimus. Mr. Animus, I am all right.
Kate says you'll be locked up again once the show ends. Look, Kate, if you want to get kinky like that, that is fine, but don't announce it on the show. All right, we're not that sort of a program. Bloody hell. She's still using her handcuffs. But welcome along. We are going to be reviewing the Euro game so far for the Women's Euros. Like I say, I know you have picked your best player out from each team, and we're going to be previewing the quarterfinals, which start tomorrow with England, of course, taking on. Kate said it's too hot for that, any of that shite. Yeah, but just think it's all the sweaty, slippery. It makes it more exciting. It's at the end when you can't actually get apart.
You stuck together like Velcro.
Yes.
Like trying to pull two dogs apart once they've started, isn't it?
Well, if you're calling Kate a dog, that's up to you.
I wasn't going there, but
Well, you said it. You said it. Anyway, for the ladies that are watching, there might be a few left. Show us your white bits. How are you saying that?
look at that! Look at that!
I'm going to say,
You know what? You know what it looks like? You know, if you fancy a sausage butcher, you think, shit, I've not turned sausages.
yes.
And they're all brown on one side. It's still practically fresh flesh on it. Jesus.
Now people can understand why I put that up.
Yeah, exactly. Although I will be like Ross this weekend because I'm helping a mate move a sofa and he lives in a flat two stories up. So as soon as we're helping take this sofa down, I'm just going to be shouting, pivot!
You not put it off till the winter. I mean, you are going to be dripping.
Oh, 100%. That's how, and that, my friends, is how beef dripping is created in Lancashire.
It's after the watershed. Let us talk women's football. And why not? Why not? Your thoughts on it so far?
I think it's been a phenomenal tournament. I think, you know, we set a precedent with the first game against Austria. We were, you know, the attendance was absolutely outstanding. It's great to see that so many people are backing, you know, that not just the fact that it's the Women's Euros, but it's the whole principle that women's football in general, not just being a European tournament, that it's all getting this the limelight that it deserves. So I'm really happy. And I think a few teams have been surprising us as well. There's been some really big score lines. It's been so interesting to watch. And yeah, long may it continue into these dying moments of the tournament.
Indeed. James, good evening. No, that's not Elton Wellesby. That was on earlier.
Now you're all right, James.
Lovely man. Well, he is. I don't know about you.
I'm not. I'm an arse.
But there's been some. We know that, and a brown one at the moment. But I mean, when you look at the whole tournament, it's so well organised.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have a look at the odd sort of, you know, game and say, well, maybe the attendance wasn't that high, but you know, the 5 o'clock kickoffs, people have still been at work and they couldn't get to it. I mean, England obviously have filled out 2 stadiums, but you know, there's been some high attendances for some of the other games, which is lovely to see.
It is, especially when we've just come out of a big batch of COVID, you know, lockdown, etc. And now we're getting fans turning up and welcome into the country from all around the world to see their nation in this Euros in England. So
Europe, anyway, I don't know around the world.
Yeah.
It'd been a bit of a waste of Germany if Australia would come over.
Well, I mean, these people that might be living around the world, you know, they might be living around the world. They might have moved afar from where their home nation is, but you know, do follow their nation.
Well, dug out yourself out of a hole then. I might say so, sir.
It's too hot. I'm not digging anymore. 7 dwarfs can do it rest.
Who's impressed you so far, generally?
I think France have been phenomenal. I do like the way that France set up. They do not take any prisoners. They like to go for the kill. Them and us, really. I didn't think we'd I knew we'd be a force to be reckoned with. I just didn't think we'd be hammering teams as much as we have. You know, the score lines have been something else.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'd say us, France, and probably the Germans.
It's interesting to see because I think we've laid the marker down for everybody else, if I'm honest with you. You know, I think you can, you know, we've scored more goals than everybody else.
Yeah.
We've not conceded any goals. And it's been like I say, we're here. You've got to get past us on our own turf if you want to do very well. And James said here, I've fully enjoyed this tournament. It's just great to see how much the women's game has grown. The support as well has been fantastic. Yep,
I agree.
And I do admit, when at the start of it, I found myself judging the teams by their male counterparts. I'm looking at, the likes, say, of Portugal and saying, like, wow, they are so far down, on the ranking.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the women's teams. And when I started watching it, I was really impressed. But then I found myself, whether I was too impressed or not, I don't know whether you had this problem. We've got to accept that this women's game it's brilliant. Love the tournament. Love the games I've watched, which is almost every one. But I found myself as it went on getting too critical, if you like. Like, I'd look at something and go, for God's sake, what you're doing there, and forgetting that in fairness, although these are, obviously missing the target from 2 inches out, you'd expect anybody to be able to do that if they're at that level. But you forget that they are so many years behind the standard that the men's are at. And that's no criticism of the women at all. It's just I'm having to find myself readjusting my thoughts when I'm watching the game.
I get you. I get what you're saying. But then, as you say, people of that quality, you'd expect them to do better in front of goal. I mean, Gaza missed from 2 yards, studs.
Yeah.
We've seen Ronaldo blaze one over the bar from a couple of yards out on an open goal. So, it does happen. I do think it's great what's happening. I think the physicality of the women's game is a lot different to the men's. I do think that there's scope for improvement for me personally in decision making. I think sometimes
is that not what I'm saying about them being still developing as a sport?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be so much as developing the sport. I'd say maybe we've not got the same. Like coaching badges have to be ridiculously hard to be a coach in the Premier League. Yeah. I'm not saying that these people that are coaching the women's game in the women's Premier League aren't, but maybe they don't need the qualification as much or need to work on certain aspects. There's not all the sports science potentially involved in the women's game. Don't quote me on it. I don't know.
No.
But who knows? That's another thing that could be needed to be looked at.
Just writing that down. And I think it will get there. And it's great to see. Obviously, the WSL, the Women's Super League in England, is being backed heavily by Sky, and I'm certainly going to be watching more games next season. This is being covered by the BBC in some form or another. It's amazing. They've got 4 channels and they still can't find space to put football matches, and they have to put it on the websites. And I explained to me, the BBC explained to me, what are BBC 3 and 4 there for? But obviously rubbish programs. But that's another story. I pay my license. I'm allowed to complain. But I tell you the other thing that has impressed me before we get onto the individual groups and players is it's the attitude. I mean, the 2 ones. Let's start with the players first.
Yeah.
If I see one of the women go down, I know that they really are injured.
Yeah, because you see them either come off, have to be substituted, or
yes.
What I mean is, they actually do need this medical attention.
Apart from one, I think, which is a Portuguese player, I've not seen this Tom Daly dive in and then 10 pirouettes and a leg up to before they start rolling. And I think that's great. So, they're not going looking for the fouls either. They're not trying to con the referees.
No, and that's a great thing to have, because especially when you've got VAR. I think in the men's game, as I say, it's so frustrating, because even though we've got VAR, even though we've got goal line technology, we've got cameras all over the shop, that players still, dive and try to claim what they can.
Yeah.
And in the women's game, we're not seeing that, which is great stuff. You're going to be pain in the arse for that all the time, aren't you?
I'm going to be. It's going to last. It is, but I still say, and that's another topic for another show. If you got retrospective yellow cards for conning the ref or diving, then we'd soon see the end of it because we would, the managers would be getting fed up with losing players, and that has helped, I think, the refereeing being of a pretty decent standard. Yeah,
I mean, I told Jake the other day he's done really well with the refereeing. To be honest, I thought he's been phenomenal in the 2 games he's ref.
He's not having it. He's not having it.
No, he's definitely not.
No.
He's gone quiet with me since. I think I might have annoyed him, but I'm good at that.
Yes, you actually are. Yes.
Yeah. Recently, I'm starting to build up a little bit of a portfolio of doing it. So, to be honest, the refereeing has been brilliant. The refs have let the games play. They've let the games go on. They've not been very whistle happy or card happy. I'd even say, dare I say it, Chris Kavanagh on VAR has actually been relatively all right.
Really?
Relatively. Not 100%.
do you think the referee? I mean, I think Leicester was one of the first teams in Europe. Well, we were in Europe, sorry, but one of the first teams where we actually had a woman's referee, and I just they don't argue with her. They wouldn't go up and harass her like they would a man. But I think the fact that the women aren't doing that allows the referees to be referees.
Yeah. I think too many people seem to think that you don't need authority. That they don't give a shit about the man in the middle or the woman in the middle of the park.
No,
some of these people, and now it's great to see that a referee's there to make sure the game goes without fail. Make sure it runs smoothly. There's no issues. So why get uppity with them? It's a tough enough job for them as it is when you've got both sets of fan bases on your case, no matter what decision you make. You're always going to be the arsehole not after 90 minutes, whether you win or lose. There's always going to be a decision you've got wrong. So, and that's even with VAR. So, yeah, fair play to the refs. They've been phenomenal so far, and hopefully we don't have a lapse in concentration when it comes to the quarters and so on and so forth.
And VAR, you mentioned it there. You mentioned Chris Kavanagh. They seem to be saying it's very rare that I've seen. It might be just the games that I've seen, but when things have gone to VAR have always said to the ref, "You go and have another look at it." We think, well, I can't know exactly what they're saying to them, but we think this happened. Please go and have a look at it. They don't seem to be telling the refs, right, well, that wasn't a penalty or whatever. They're letting the refs keep the authority, if you like.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed that because as much as every time it's gone to VAR, you've seen that, okay, it's took about 5 minutes and there's been 6 minutes added on in games and it may wind people up. But if it's here and it's here to stay, which, it's a bit of a hindrance in real life, we can't deny it. It's a pain in the backside. Human error was just fine as it was. I don't know why you have to go and try and implement everything else. As you said, though, another saying for another show. But yeah, I mean, they've done all right with it. And the fact that they're telling these referees, go to the monitor, check it out. We think that's what this is. But yeah, you made that call. We think it's just sort of agree with you, but there's something else in it.
Yeah.
But go and check that for yourself. Do you agree with what we're saying? And I think if we saw that as well in the men's game, we'd nip a lot more shit in the bud.
No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them. I mean, I was watching the other night with Craig, and I can't remember which game it was.
Well, you were flicking between the two, weren't you? There was Sweden, Portugal.
It was, I believe, yeah. And at the end, we looked at it, and when they showed the replays, I think it was at 4 different angles, and we came up with 2 different decisions each time. So we go, oh no, that came. It was a whether the player was offside or not, and had it hit the defender or had it hit another striker when it came off the striker. So that's it. That was probably the longest one I've seen, but they came, we think, in fairness, to the right decision at the end. And last thing now, before we do move on to the groups, can the men's game look at how VAR has been in this and learn anything from it?
Yeah. Simple answer. I don't think it needs really explaining. Look at the fixtures. Look at how simple it has been.
Yeah.
Look at the fact that we've all seen it. We've all been there. You know, some of the decisions have gone all right for the big six, but as soon as it's little Burnley or Leicester are playing someone like Spurs, so something will go tits up because it's let's favour the big guns. There needs to be something else.
I think we need to stop the conning of the refs by the players.
I want straight reds for Davs, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's the simplest way for it. You're not going to iron it out of the game until you do something drastic. So I'd say 3 match bans, send it straight reds if you get caught diving.
But I think for me, they've got that whole game, right, 90 minutes on video. Watch it again afterwards. And if that was a dive, I missed that, he gets the red card for it. Because the managers would soon come down on the players and say, stop doing that, you're getting yourself red cards.
Oh, yeah.
That's my thought. I think you've also got to as well, we have seen, they've literally got I've not seen a VAR decision that they've really got wrong. I'm not saying they haven't, but I haven't really seen one. And I think VAR, we saw with Forest Huddersfield in the playoff final, it's got to be stopped. VAR buddying up with the referee because it's his last game or whatever. You've got to start making the decisions for the good of the game. But like we say, we could end up talking VAR all night, couldn't we? So
we could.
We're going to be looking at the group stage review. So we're going to be looking back at the groups, and we're looking forward to the quarterfinals. So let's move on and start with and have a look at the groups. And sorry, I don't know how I got in there, but let me just quickly mention, and I want to thank 3 Retro for their support of the shows. Do get over if you want any retro sports shirts or retro sportswear. 3retro.com. Number 3, if you're listening, the number 3 retro.com for the biggest choice of retro shirts and retro wear. And they've got a lot of the Admiral stuff. And I've got to be honest with you, I love the Admiral stuff. Absolutely love it. It was the best kit manufacturer out there.
I do echo your sentiment with 3 Retro as well. Really good brand to work with. And absolutely fantastic for what they've done.
Yeah, I think somebody's creeping here, but let's not say anything more. Charlotte, how the devil are you? Welcome along. No match today, and unfortunately, you're gonna have to cover your eyes because you're probably looking at that person.
Ciao, Bella.
And thinking, who the hell is that? I'm sorry, I don't choose his wardrobe, but I will be having words with the wardrobe.
Shut up for your face. Poundland version of Eminem.
What, the chocolate sweets?
Yeah.
Shut up for your face. Shut up for your face.
Oops, I need to start remembering that I have to press that twice. Right, let's get back on to where are we? Hang on a second. I need to get.
You've got me singing that in my head now. What's the matter, you? Why are you looking so sad?
So Group A. Oops, sorry, I went back again and not forward. Sorry, here we go. So these were the groups. Group A, obviously we had Austria, England, Northern Ireland, and Norway. Group B, Denmark, Finland, Germany, and Spain. Group C was Netherlands, Portugal, Sweden, Switzerland, and making up Group D, Belgium, France, Iceland, and Italy. So let's just have a look at the mixes of the groups. So let me just get this, use the right mouse, it helps. So Group A. So Austria ranked 21, England 8, Northern Ireland 47, Norway 11th. Looking at that, you've got to be honest, you've got to think, well, England should have qualified from that, which obviously we did.
Yeah, of course. It's like that old saying, isn't it? You've got people that will talk the legs off a game about stats, and there's people that stats don't mean nothing. The scoreline says different. I don't know how many times I've watched Burnley and they've had 28% possession and yet they still nick a 1-0. You know what I mean? Stats don't tell a story. So
I remember those days.
So do I. Well,
we call the dark ages, but there we go.
After watching us against Shrewsbury, Chris, we're a different animal, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure Shrewsbury were as well. Up there with the Liverpool and Man United, weren't they? Hey, I can't say anything after losing to Notts County, but yeah,
that's both Nottingham sides that have done you within a year. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, indeed. I think the surprise in this group for me was Norway, because they're ranked 11. And let's go to them. We beat Austria 1-0. Norway started off well, 4-1, beating Northern Ireland. But in fairness to Northern Ireland, they've only been professional since January.
Yeah,
it was a huge winning for them. Was just getting to the finals themselves.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah. Then Austria beat Northern Ireland 2-0. But then Norway rolled up to face England and. Well, were England too good for Norway, or were Norway just that bad? 8-0 record in this competition.
It's a tough one to call. I think you've got to look at the fact that maybe it was potentially a case of we were too strong for them, as much as the rankings say we're very close. Or maybe we just thought we knew we had to do a job against a team like Norway in this group. So we just literally went all out to make sure that we could do that. Yeah. But we did, and we did it proper, put them to the sword without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah. It did. It literally, to me, that was the game that the first game, we struggled. We won 1-0. It was the first game. And Austria. Let's face it, Austria. They're the ranked 21st. They were semi-finalists last time out, so they shouldn't be, poo-pooed. But I think when people would have looked at that result, and gone, that was England putting the gauntlet down, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's them saying, "Listen, we're the ones to beat." If you're gonna, you're gonna have to come and face us at some point. And I don't know. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, because you sort of have to. Sort of live up to that now. You've sort of done it once. It's almost like, right, well, you've walked it once, walk it with the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's two sides to it. I think we'll continue in good fan form anyway, and obviously we've got a really nice. Not going to say easy, because it's definitely not, but we've got a nice test in the quarters.
Yeah, I think that's the team that I would have liked. Thank you very much. Charlotte says here, stats are poo. They are when they're against you, but when they're for you, they're all right. And the funny thing is, I was never used to be bothered by stats, because I was talking with Elton Wellesby earlier, and you were obviously in the chat, and I actually said, and he thought I was complaining, and I wasn't, but I was just making the fact that Leicester won the Premier League with the least possession of any team that's ever won it, over the season. We were not possession based. But since I started doing this, and I guess because it's a talking point, but to say, well, look, how many shots Portugal had, like, whoever it was last night, it just backs up what you talk about on these shows. So, but I agree, two people can sit there and read two different things into stats, But then Austria went on to beat Norway 1-0, and we put 5 past the Northern Ireland at the end. So, let's have a look here. This is what Lou went for, and I'm going to be honest with you. I agreed with her. I said, England top, Norway I thought would be second, Austria third, Northern Ireland fourth. Because although they did get to the semi-finals last year, it was the first time I think they'd been in the finals.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we got 1 and 4 right and 2 and 3 the wrong way round. But I would have expected Norway to go through, and Norway to go through. Would you have put them? Which order would you have put them in?
Same as you and Lou, to be fair. I think you know, even taking the official FIFA rankings to the side, I think you'd have still said England top that group, Norway second, and as you rightly already said, Northern Ireland are just happy to be there. You know, fighting in the first time. Okay, they'd have potentially probably enjoyed it a bit more if they'd have got a point on the board, but it's a learning curve for them.
It is, and like I say, they've done well to get here. So I say Norway, I think, was a team that, like you say, not necessarily disappointed us, but surprised us by not going through. But did any of their players impress you at all?
Norway's players. I knew you'd throw me under the bus.
Well, I think the fact that you've not done your homework.
Yeah, I've not done my homework.
Anybody that's watching, I wasn't expecting Dan to actually do that. I've been winding him up about that since he sat down.
I've heard that Erling Haaland's not bad.
Oh dear. Anyway, shall we move on? So wrong button. Honestly, my finger keeps slipping. I'm really sorry, mate. Group B.
For that.
Yeah, I believe so. Go get it unstuck first. Denmark, Finland, Germany, Spain. This was Group B, ladies and gentlemen. And I think. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look what FIFA said about this group. You've got 2, Germany and Spain, 5th and 7th, and 2 in Denmark and Finland that were 15th and 29th. So looking at that, you'd probably say, yeah, we know which 2 are going to go through here. Yeah. This is my biggest disappointment of the tournament, that Finland didn't get through, just because I love the shirt that they play in.
Yeah, I know you've been saying that you really like that Finland shirt.
I'm waiting for 3 Retro to bring out as a retro shirt. I can get it. No, I see. To me, just to sidetrack for a minute. To me, and that's the Chuckle Brothers these days, isn't it?
To me, to you, to me, just to me, to me.
Yes. I forgot. To me, that was what I was going to say. That should be England's shirt, a white shirt with a red cross on it.
Yeah,
that's our flag. We should be doing that. Where we've got this blue, there's no blue on the English flag. What are we doing with blue shorts?
I think it's just because of the lions and the sort of it's like a navy blue, isn't it? The lions and the line around the badge.
Yeah, but the lions aren't blue.
No, they're like a navy blue.
Not in real life. Lions are brown.
Well,
the ones I saw in South Africa,
obviously.
And before I put up,
but that's like saying Leicester's fox isn't white. Although I know you can get a white fox.
I'm not saying anything. Before I put Charlotte's next comment up, I've got to say this.
And now for something completely different.
She said Norway are pining for the fjords. So we weren't disappointed because, like we said, at the end of the day, I think the right 2 went through. But it started off with Spain beating Finland 4-1. Denmark, and this is the game I didn't see, but Germany beat Denmark 4-0. So after the first round of games, you're thinking, yeah, kind of see where this group's going, probably. Yeah. Then Denmark beat Finland 1-0 in the Battle of the Nordic countries. And this was the surprise. Germany beat Spain. Now, this is the reason why I want Spain, because Spain had most of the possession. They had, I think it was 60-odd% possession. They had so many shots, and they did absolutely nothing with it.
No.
If they play like that tomorrow night, great, bring it on. Because Germany in that game sat back and said, right, yeah, come at us. Couple of breaks, couple of goals. Good night, Vienna. It's just. And Spain made tough work of getting past Denmark, 1-0 in the last game. Germany put Finland sort of to the sword 3-0, but Finland were already home. So, yeah, I mean, would you sooner have Germany or are you with me there on Spain?
No, I'd have took either or, really. I think at the moment, the way we're playing, I think we'd have been phenomenal against either side. Although, knowing full well that we're playing Spain first, it's got to be an incentive, knowing full well that you're getting through to say that you're getting through to the semis. Don't be hasty, Daniel.
No.
But you'd say that, you've got a very good chance of getting through when you're playing second in the group.
Don't get ahead of yourself. But yeah, I mean, as I say, that's the reason I'd like Spain. I'm glad we've got Spain side because I think Germany do look the more dangerous. And as I say, Lou went for Germany, Spain, Denmark, Finland, and I've got to say I'd probably agree with her. She got it spot on. She got it absolutely spot on with that one. Germany, 3 wins, no goals conceded, 9 goals scored. Not quite as good as us, Germany. So get back in your box. Spain won 2, lost 1, and through with 5. Denmark registered the 1 win, and Finland didn't win any at all. Chris Welsh, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? Welcome along. I hope you are
Hope
well.
you're well, Chris.
And not doing anything you shouldn't be doing. Let's just leave it at that, shall we?
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chums. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV.
Oh, it so is. It so is. Nice to see Ross again. It's been a while. Is it Ross or Rust? I'm not sure which.
That'll be gone tomorrow. A bit of WD-40, I'll be right as rain.
You can hear anything creaking, guys. It is Dan. You, Chris, come on. Well, can I just say...
Look, Chris, he's taking the mick because of this. Look at that.
The man with the t-shirt you got one of those body t-shirts on, or you've been painted, haven't you?
Yeah.
Naked body art. Oh God, no! I'm going to go to bed with that thought now. That was a horrible thought.
Enjoy your night, Chris.
Kate has my sympathy. I've only got the thought. She's got the real thing. Evening, Kate. How are you? I've forgotten her surname then. Musgrove, good evening, Miss Musgrove. How the devil are you? So, Group C, Netherlands, Portugal, Sweden, and Switzerland. I'm the same as you, Chris. I've not been so stupid. If I was Ginger, would I be going out in this weather? Apparently,
I've not been out in it. I've not been out in it apart from in the evening. It had cooled down a little bit. Finally had a successful barbecue. That was a success. So we had a successful barbecue, and I went and had a bit of a sit down in the pool.
Well, apparently,
or as other people like to call it, a bed bath.
Kate, did you? Well, apparently there was supposed to be a march today in London about people still having a go at Gingers, but because it was so hot, they called it off. Yes, indeed. So, FIFA Netherlands are ranked 4, but they are, of course, the current holders.
Mm-hmm.
Sweden second, and let's be honest with you, they're behind the USA, and to be able to catch the USA up would be, impossible, I think. Switzerland 20 and Portugal 30. I mean, this is what I'm saying earlier about sort of having to sort of remember that this isn't the men's games. I'm looking at Portugal and thinking 30th. What's happened to Ronaldo? But you have to do it. Netherlands always wind up below. Don't get it. So I don't.
Is it because of the Netherlands and the windmills and tulips sort of thing? I don't know whether that's what she's going for.
No. James is back. Good evening, James. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, keep it in the likes and subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much, James. So,
what, I've even got the YouTube red hand.
No, that's just because your soft toilet paper wasn't as strong as you thought it was. I can't believe I said that. I'm really sorry, YouTube. Don't send me a letter, please. Don't. You know, it's just my toilet humour. So Netherlands are the holders. We actually, well, I didn't say stuffed them, but I think was it 5-1 or 4-1 in a friendly before the Euro started, because of course we didn't have any qualifications to play. So we've also got their manager from the last time when they won it. So Netherlands possibly looking a little bit maybe suspect. But that said, we thought it'd be Sweden, Netherlands, Portugal, Switzerland, which basically, if I just catch up on my other screen, was almost the way Lou almost called it.
Just settled on goal difference.
Yes, it did finish the way, though, that France said it. FIFA said it would. They got their ranking. They got it in the right order. Sweden impressed me. The Netherlands, well, I mean, if we have a look at sort of the games, Portugal and Switzerland drew 2-2 in the first game. I mean, that was the original tale of two halves. Yeah,
it was. Portugal have been a bit unfortunate, really, in this event, in this group stage, to be honest, because in 2 games they clawed it back.
But then they shouldn't be that far behind, maybe.
Yeah, it does make you wonder why. But I think as you said there, the Swedes have been brilliant as we expect. The Netherlands.
Words fail me, Charlotte. Words fail me. This was turning into the most boring group going, wasn't it, at one point? Because Netherlands and Sweden got a 1-1 draw. Sweden struggled past Switzerland 2-1 in fairness. And the Netherlands, again, 3-2 against Portugal. So Switzerland and Portugal were going down fighting. And then Sweden, well, that was the one I think I was watching with Craig, wasn't it? And we started off watching the Swiss game, and literally, I know sort of Leicester's. I'm the wrong person to say this because it's pot calling the kettle black with Leicester's defence. But every time they had a free kick or a corner, they conceded a goal. Portugal. They'd got this thing of we have got zonal marking, but we're not going to mark anybody in our zone. Because as you looked at it, you could see the Portuguese defenders. And you could see the Swedes, nobody was picking them up. And they went, I'm here. The ball came over, boom, head it in. And but then Switzerland and Netherlands, Netherlands, just as we swapped over, the Netherlands went ahead. Switzerland, in all fairness, got back into it. And then it was probably the best 5 minutes of football I've ever seen, the last 5 minutes. Netherlands got 3. I think they actually even had 1 ruled out for VAR. But it was a great. But at the end of the day, I think the best 2 teams went through.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Can't say much fairer.
No. And again, anybody from sort of the Sweden team that impressed you?
Yeah. I mean, they were all right. They were that blonde. I can't remember what position she played. All over. Yeah, all over. I mean, Ulrika Johnson weren't too bad. I thought she had a good game.
I don't believe it.
So I won't do it again to you. I won't do it again. So She was right, Lou, in the fact that she got the top two in the right order, and then the other
For
two.
me, I think she's got it pretty much nailed on. As you say, it's only goal difference that's changed the bottom two.
That one, yeah. She thought she'd done really bad with these predictions, but she actually, in fairness, hasn't.
She's been pretty much spot on.
Yeah. So, Group D. Let us have a look and go down into Group D. Belgium, France, Iceland, and Italy. Now, I'm not one to hold a grudge. I'm not one to, not seek revenge out. But Italy. Where are you now, Italy? Failed to qualify for the World Cup, didn't get out of the group stage of the Women's Euros. Yeah, okay, you only won the thing because you pulled one of our players back and nearly strangled him and got away with it. Yeah, where are you now, Italy? Bring it on.
Where are you?
Yes, let's be having you. No. I have to say, never hold a grudge, me. Never hold a grudge. Yes, indeed, we did. She's part Italian, Charlotte. I think it's her left leg. I'm not sure, but as you look at this group, it was. Let's see what FIFA had to say, because you got to be looking at this and going, well, France. Let's just turn up and give us the points, please. We're through. France third. And then it was any one of three. Italy 14th, France, Iceland 17th, and Belgium 19th. And I know that, some of the Belgian players were in tears. They were doing the old, antiperspirant advert, the old at the end. But I'm sorry, when I'm looking at some of these teams and they've gone into the last game knowing that they've got to win, all right, not wanting to lose, but you've got to go for it. And this is what annoyed me with so many of these teams on the third group game is they didn't go for it. Belgium drew with Iceland in the first game. France just put Italy to the sword and 5-1. Italy could only draw with Iceland 1-1. I say only, but France beat Belgium 2-1. Belgium then beat Italy 1-0, and then France beat Iceland 1-1. And in those last two games, France were through, and we covered the Italy-Belgium game because that was the more. We didn't think that Iceland were going to beat France. They got a draw because of a last-minute penalty. But in that Italy-Belgium game, Italy were all over Belgium again, but Belgium. They just took the time, started the second half, found the Italians asleep, went in and scored 1-0. Now, at what point do Italy think this is going to be all right for us? They've got to get 2 goals because they've got to win. So they've got to come out. If you're going to lose 1-0, and you might as well lose 4 or 5 giving it a go.
Yeah.
And
at least then your fans aren't going to be like, oh, you did nothing. You didn't even turn up. You didn't fight for the shirt. There were nothing.
Yeah.
You'd sort of already accepted, the principle of being knocked out of the tournament, and it's sad to see.
It is.
Really is. We don't hold grudges.
What can I say in Italian? I know. I just can't find it. Here we go.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
It is. Just and you see you see men's teams do this. So I'm not actually, saying it's just the women, but you can see that they were panicking. They were taking shots from outside the, outside the box, and they couldn't. Very rarely, unless you were France or England or possibly Germany, you were doing nothing with those shots. They were either, daisy cutters that would just hit the first defender. I'll tell you something. I don't know if you've ever played golf, but when as a kid, if you went around the golf course and you used to find the balls that had all gone astray and go and sell them back in the club shop. Well, I've been on the phone to the space station, And apparently they've got about 15 balls that have been kicked that high that landed up there. I mean, those shots going everywhere. But I'm afraid, it's a game and you get what you deserve. And Italy, all over Belgium in the first half. I wanted Belgium to win because obviously, my feelings towards Italy. And I had to say at half time, because Craig went Italy to win, I had to say, actually, the Italians are the better team. But they haven't, and we say this so often with the men's game, don't we? They just didn't take advantage. Belgium came out, caught them dead, and 1-0. And then they just never really offered anything.
No, you see that though. We've seen it with a few teams where it's been, people. You sort of let these people have a chance, have a sniff at goal, but then you manage to kill them off. You manage to kill it off. I don't know how it's done. It's remarkable how they do it. I mean, I'm in awe of it, but it's not pleasant to watch because sometimes what you're doing is all the donkey work and thinking your team's getting battered and pelted, and for what? For you then to all of a sudden the game change. It's a strange philosophy, but for a few teams it works. And as I say, for Italy, there's got to be that point where you turn around and say, listen, we got it. We got it horribly wrong. Back to the drawing board. Yeah.
I mean, Charlotte says there Rome wasn't built in a day. But let me tell you, Charlotte, had you employed Polish builders, it might have been. Didn't really have the killer instinct. Yeah, that's a fair point, Charlotte. And a lot of teams didn't. But like I say, I just think, when I understand in the first game, you're wary because you don't want to start off with a loss, and if you start off with a draw, you obviously that's slightly better. But when it's the third game and everything depends on you winning, don't just stand there and play it around. You've got to go for it, But it was, like I say, at some point, I think Iceland were in second place, then Belgium. Iceland got the penalty at the end, but they needed the second goal to go through. And towards the end, you're thinking like, well, all Italy could do was they couldn't get through, but they could have stopped Belgium going through.
Yeah, they could have. They could have. You could almost say they couldn't get past the group stage.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
He's lost for words.
I am. I just don't know where to go with it. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Not
happy with myself.
Lou went for France top, Italy second, Belgium third, Iceland fourth. Wow. All right. I think that was probably her least successful group.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, she got France top, which, like I say, looking at the rankings, I'm sorry, Dan's come in. No, he hasn't. Dan's already here. Doug's come in, and I did say that I would not be publishing any of his jokes if he came in. But, this one, I've got to say, Doug, I'll give you this one. A mummy covered in chocolate and nuts has been discovered in Egypt. Archaeologists believe it may be Pharaoh Rothschild.
I like that one. I do like that one.
that actually gets one of these. Towards the end of our watch along last night. Shut up, Maisie. Shut up, Will. You stop it now. Told you. Get back under the desk. And all we were doing was telling jokes to each other towards the end of the show last night. And then Charlotte joined in, and her jokes were even worse than yours. But she liked that one. So, yeah, indeed, that was probably her worst choice. So we have got then, that's the groups reviewed, and we have got to now look at the semi-finals, and I know that Dan really does like looking at semis. So we will be.
I do. You know me. The last time we spoke, I was watching Naked Attraction. I've clearly, obviously, got a thing for semis. So
it
fire
scares
away.
me. It scares me. We'll be right back after this. Yeah, please check out 3 Retro. They have been kind enough to sponsor Leicester LTIDtv's coverage of the Women's Euros 2020. So please go and give them your support. And Dan will always wear it. But yeah, please give your report them your support if you do want any retro wear at all. Right. First semi. And we could have got Germany.
Proud of you, Chris. Proud of you. Proud of you. I'm really proud of you that you've managed to achieve your first semi. I'm really proud. This must have been a long time coming. You know what,
mate? Tell you what, I filled for 4 pushchairs.
5. Don't forget. Don't leave me out.
Well, in fact, that was only 3 times. Because of course, I had twins as well. But
fair play.
I wasn't expecting the Spanish Inquisition, but in fairness,
no one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No, they don't. I mean, we touched on this. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock kickoff. I'll be joined by Lou at 7:45. Brighton and Hove Community Stadium in Brighton, obviously for the quarterfinals. I'm glad, like I said, we got Spain. I think they're higher than us in the FIFA rankings, but I haven't been impressed with them.
No, me neither. I think they're a little bit like Italy. They've been a bit disappointing. They've sort of, not done themselves justice. We've been clinical, lethal in front of goal. I expect us to be quite comfortable in this.
I'm just seeing whether the rankings have changed, or whether they've already included any of the games in here. No, they haven't. The rankings are still the same. So yeah, Spain, are 7th. England are 8th in the FIFA ranking. So this should be a good game.
It should. But I think it's going to be one of those. I mean, how many times have we said this is going to be a very, very, very tough fixture?
Yeah.
And we said the England-Norway one would be really tough. We put them to bed.
Yeah.
We said the France game that we covered was going to be very close. That were 5-0, 4-0 at half time or whatever. It's been interesting as this tournament. So I wouldn't like to say, but I do think that with us being on home soil, it being the tournament being held here in England, we've almost got like an extra incentive to go out and try and win the goddamn thing.
Yes, yeah. Norway are actually only, well, they say only, I thought they were on this, but they're actually 11th in FIFA World Rankings, just below North Korea, which is probably not the best place to be, let's be honest with you. Then we managed to, like you say, put them to sword. We put the Netherlands to sword, as I say, in that pre-tournament friendly, 5-1, and they're obviously the holders of it. But I've got a feeling for England. I mean, do you think it's been an advantage? Because like I said in a couple of shows, I've been watching a lot of these. Because, when you go onto YouTube and you watch something and then it suggests similar things. And I started watching about corruption in FIFA and UEFA, of course, which there isn't any. But, allegedly, I was watching these. And it showed back to like Argentina.
We were watching a Man United channel before it suggested that, or how were you?
You'd be surprised. But yeah, and it took me back to Argentina 1978 on one of the shows, and saying how that was because you had the military junta in place then, and people were missing, and it took people's eyes off that. But they said they put Argentina's games all at night time, so they were playing in cooler heat, if you like. And I'm thinking, well, that's what we've just done.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
I mean, had we? I mean, yes, it's for television rights. You know, you've only got to look at, say, the crowds and the viewings we get on here to see that the 8 o'clock ones get a lot more people watching than the 5 o'clock ones. I'm just, I think that has helped England, the fact that they've been playing at 8 o'clock rather than sort of 5 o'clock when it's hotter.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it does count, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's. Sorry, Charlotte, you're barking up the wrong tree with that one.
Hey.
That was a bit rough. But yeah, I think we both. I mean, I'm going for an England win here.
Yeah, hands down England win. And I'm going to say by a very comfortable scoreline as well.
Yes, yeah. Okay, thank you very much for that. And remember to do the same for Daniel as well. His link is in the description below on YouTube, and he will be repeating it at the end. We're still waiting to find out what he's going to be doing, because he hit one of his targets in his subscribes. We're still waiting to hear. And wearing a vest when, being half brown, half white isn't the challenge. So you can't carry that one. And then we have indeed the next semi-final, which brings us to Germany against Austria. And the last time I remember, well, not certain if it was the last time, but I can remember Germany and Austria in a World Cup once, and I've mentioned this before, I know. I'm a bit like the BBC. I do a lot of repeats, but I do know that they both, I think Germany either needed to win by a certain amount and they just happened. They needed to win by 3 and they won by 4, or they needed to draw and they got a draw. But it was certainly after that game in the World Cup. That is why all the final games in any group stage in any tournament is played at the same time, so that nobody's got an advantage and knows what they've got to do. This could be an exciting one. I mean, Germany are ranked 5th in the world. They're down from 4th. They were overtaken, full enough, by the Netherlands. And Austria are 21st. So you would say on paper, it's going to be Germany. They're going to walk all over Austria. Not that Germany, of course, would ever do that. Allegedly, a joke for the OAPs there. I know my audience, but Austria, like I say, and maybe it was a one-off, and maybe they were on the adrenaline of it being their first ever finals, but they were semi-finalists last time out. Yeah,
and clearly they'll have an incentive to think, listen, let's go one better. I was going to say something to do with I was telling myself in my head, don't get political with it being Austria.
Don't get political.
Austria and Germany, but let's look at it. Austria aren't there to make up the numbers. They've fought hard to get to where they have. As you said, semi-finals the year before, or the last time it was held. So I'm expecting a close game. I'm expecting a close fixture, end-to-end stuff, I'd say. But I think the scoreline will be very, very close. I think there'll only be like a goal in it between the two.
I think you could be right. And I think Austria might. Oh, sing along, everybody. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Otherwise, I might get a strike.
Probably already have, just off the intro.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I'm going for Germany on this one. I think they're just going to be too strong.
I think it was in the wrong tone you used it as well, because we said neighbours, not neighbours.
Moving on. You know, most double acts, there's usually like a serious one and a comedic one, but we've just got two serious ones. What are we doing wrong here? You know.
It's almost like, let's see how far we can push it without mentioning a certain man with a moustache.
Yes. Talking of which, Charlotte says Austria have the Von Katz family of salts. We are going down that road, aren't we? We are going down that road. I feel it. But how old are you, Charlotte? You seem to. You're not as young as you've been making out. I don't think. Either that, or you've watched some very, very old films. I've got to tell you, actually, I know I shouldn't sidetrack, but please just bear with me on this one. I don't know if anybody watches QI. If you do, you may have seen this joke. I love the program. I never watch it. I'm never up to date though, because I'm always watching it on Dave. He tells me to get off, but I won't. He's comfortable.
I was going to say, who's Dave? Has he got a built-in Teletubby screen in his stomach?
Yeah, yes. How did you know?
Tinky Winky's real name.
In fact, the other day we did actually say that we wanted to watch sort of, QI back to back, and have a binge. But he got facing the telly, I got facing the other way. Anyway, QI, and this is a fact that in Korea, and presumably South Korea, I'm not sure, but in one of the Koreas, it is so popular, The Sound of Music, that one cinema place edited all the songs out so that he could get an extra showing in every day. That just made me laugh. I mean, what is Sound of Music without the song?
Exactly.
Charlotte, I mean, she is 16 going on 17. Do I sound like Julie Andrews?
The hills are alive with the sound of
Or the hills are alive with the sound of. But again, we're going down that wrong road again, aren't we? Going down. I told you we should have taken a left back there, Dan. Should have taken a left back there. But his sat nav's broken. Right. I'm going for Germany. Just quickly move on. I'm going for Germany on this one.
Yeah, I think the Germans will nick it.
Yes. Oh well, they might get fined, of course. And in the next one, we have Sweden versus Belgium. Now, you're looking here at Sweden, who are number 2 in the world, like I say.
Yeah.
They are 20-odd points behind. They're more. 40, about 50 points behind the USA. So, yeah, the second, but, quite a way behind. And they're up against Belgium, who are 19th in the world. You got to fancy Sweden, haven't you?
Yeah. I think you do.
No, we've moved on now. We're on a different group now.
No, but Sweden, it's Sweden, yeah.
Sweden.
So it's
here we go again.
That's what I mean. That's good old ABBA.
Yes.
I'm going to take a chance on the Swedes.
Oh, knowing me, I knew you would.
It's the name of the game, Chris.
It is. It is. And one of us will be lonely by the end of this. I don't know who it will be.
Seb Blatter won't. Money, money, money. It's a rich man's world, isn't it?
It's true. Hang on, what is Kate saying? Give me a man after midnight. Well, Kate, if you need a man, I'm on my way up.
I'm surprised she's lasted till midnight.
Apparently, you don't get your ass off the sofa till then.
That's a point.
That is a good point. I like the Swedes.
It's a sore point, but it's a very good one.
I like the Swedes. As I say, I don't think they've peaked at the moment. Do you?
No. I think obviously there's more to their game, and I think they're to us how the German men's side are in the men's game. They start off slow, potentially grow into the tournament, and yeah, I think they'll be I think they'll be comfortable.
Yeah. James says, cheers, lads. He's got to go. Work in the morning. See you soon. All take care.
Take it easy, James.
James, thanks for popping in. As always, it is much appreciated. But yeah, I still have faith in you, Dan, to get these things right. I think occasionally you will. You obviously don't know that ABBA song.
Which one?
Sorry?
Which one?
I still have faith in you.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. I still have faith in you. In fact, I know everybody word to it.
No. Well, I have a dream that one day that you won't be there. But,
It stands to bar, Chris. It stands to bar.
But I suppose in this game you could say that the winner takes it all. Thank you. Thank you. That is the one. That is the one. We end on that. It's not going to get any better than that. It isn't going to get any. That, I'm afraid we've got. No, that was the wrong one. Let's have an applause. Thank you. I'm here all week. I'm available for bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, and funerals. We can't bet that. Come on, that was a good one. We can't.
I'll give you that. I think we're
both going for Sweden on that one, aren't we?
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah. Charlotte just sneaks one in there, Charlotte, but you're not going to beat the winner takes it all. Germany will be Sweden's Waterloo. Oh dear, what can I say?
Oh.
I'm desperately looking to see if I can see another song here that I can have a song that I can use. Oh, here's one I didn't know. This must be about you, Dan. Little Things.
Hey.
Anyway,
they actually brought a song out on their new album called "Keep an Eye on Dan."
Well, one of us will be ending up in trouble. But moving that, come on, we've stopped now. We've stopped. I should have stopped when I peaked, shouldn't I? Really? It's the battle of the upside down flags. It's France versus the Netherlands.
Someone's pressed rotate on paint.
Yes, they did. I did realise why I downloaded this image twice when I could have just turned it round. To me, this is the quarterfinal that I'm really looking forward to. And I know England are playing Spain and that sort of, 7th against 8th, but this is, France, who have looked absolutely unstoppable in this tournament so far, against Netherlands, who, let's be honest with you, haven't hit the heights that they probably would. Yes, they're through. Let's be honest. There's no shame in that. But they were second in the group. They are holders. They're not where they were in the last tournament. I mean, France are third, but Netherlands are fourth in the FIFA ranking. So this, to me, like I say, is going to be, and I'm saying all this, it'll probably be the biggest letdown ever. But for me, this is going to be the big one.
You'd expect it to be. I think both teams will give it a go. As I said, this is good. This is another one of those that could be a bit like with Austria. Netherlands haven't really sort of they've played well, but for me, I can't look past us and France. I think us and France have been absolutely outstanding. In the way our approach to the game has been, the way we've took games on, defensively, in attack, in midfield. So Netherlands have a big task on their hands, because if they come up against a France team that are, in fan form like there was the other week, I'd expect it to be an easy night for the French. But the Dutch obviously still have everything to play for with being holders, and they won't want to go out without a fight.
No.
So I totally agree. Could be one of those that is very tough to call, but I suppose that's why we're here. We're here to make these tough calls. We are like the VAR of YouTube, so we need to pick somebody to go through.
Yeah, somebody will come up with a VAR that it stands for.
In fact, this game's so tough to call. We'll let Charlotte pick, and we'll go for the opposite.
Yeah, well, That's guaranteed we're going to get it right, isn't it? You know? I mean, I'm just looking here at the form guide. Now, you know, I've said that this is going to be the one that's hard to call. But France have won 4 of the last 5, drawing the other one. Netherlands have won 4 of the last 5, drawing the other ones. They've played each other 7 times. There's been 3 draws, and they've each won twice. And goals scored: France 9, Netherlands 10. I mean, you couldn't put a fact paper between them, could you?
No. Like I say, it's going to be one to. It could go either way. Who turns up on the day? Who's ready to die for the cause and you know, throw themselves in front of every single ball?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go for a surprise. I'm going to say the Netherlands knock France out.
And I'll be honest with you, I was just going to say the same thing, because I think I don't like the French. I mean, that could be any other reason, you know.
I love a baguette. Love a baguette. Love a bit of garlic bread. Smash it. Other than that, stuff them.
I tell you what. Guess which way I voted in Brexit? I'm not going to say. I'll just let you guess. Charlotte thinks it goes 2-0 to the Netherlands. Oh God, she's agreeing with us quickly. Let's change that to France.
They're all there at Calais going, well, yeah, it's nice knowing you. You're there, lads. Go, see you later.
To me, the best thing they could do is when they built the Channel Tunnel is join it up to the M25. They come down the Channel Tunnel
back
all the
on
way
themselves.
down the M25 and right back down again. Indeed. Patsy, good evening. Welcome along. You look to be new to the channel. I don't think I've seen you before. Were you saying it will go to penalties? You could be right with that one. You could be right. And welcome along. If you haven't yet, Patsy, please give us a subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Anthony's in. Big up, lads. Hope you're well in this heat. Yeah, Patsy's gone 0-0, and like you say, and then for the penalties. Patsy, how you doing? I've not seen you since JFK's assassination.
Oh, that one was poor, Chris. That one was a bad one.
That's just lost her now, hasn't it?
You've gone from up here. You've gone from up here all the way down there.
She literally would have got her finger over that subscribe button. She said, "Oh, book it off now." For those of you that don't understand it, ask your parents. So that is the groups, and let's just go back and have a quick refresh, if you do not mind. Let me first of all do that, then I can get rid of that, bring that in. And I can do that. Whoops, again. There we go. Shouldn't have done that. So, England, Spain. England have won the last 5. Spain have won 4 of the last 5, and they've lost the other one. They've played each other 8 times, 4 draws, 2 wins each. It's close. 9 goals for England, 8 for Spain, and it's down at Brighton and Hove. If you are down this way, get off the nudist beach and get up to the stadium. I am still going for England for that one.
Yeah, same.
And then let's have a look at. I think I didn't really look at, but let's just have a quick look at this one. Germany, Austria. No, we're not going to go back to where we were. We've gone down that road. We've not done a U-turn. Germany have won 4 of the last 5. Austria have won 4 of the last 5. They've never played each other before, so this could be interesting. You can't split anybody, but I think we both went Germany for that one, didn't we?
We did indeed, yeah.
We did indeed. He's not playing because he plays for Leicester. Indeedy. And then we've got Sweden, Sweden, versus Belgium. Now this is interesting. Of the last 5, Sweden have won 3 and drawn 2. Belgium have won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. They've played each other twice before. Both times Sweden won it, and they scored 7 goals to 1. And this is at the Lee Sports Village at Wigan. And I think I went for Sweden. I think you did as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Just copying me as you always do. You're like that at school, always looking over my shoulder, copying me homework. And then we had the French versus the Netherlands. Let's just call them Holland. Bloody hell, that's what they're known as. So in the last 5 games, France have won 4, drawn 1. Holland have won 4, drawn 1. They've played each other 7 times, 3 draws, 2 wins each. 9 goals. 9 goals for France, 10 to the Netherlands. These games should all be tight, and this should be absolutely brilliant, you know.
They should.
But yeah, and then of course we've just done Germany. Dan, he sat in a certain way here where I think he maybe clenching, and if you hear this, that could be Dan. We'll let Dan go. Thank you very much, young man. Turf Morehouse TV on YouTube. Be sure to get over there, give him a subscribe. Great guy, puts a lot of work in. Do go and give him a subscribe. I will let you go and run off to your toilet.
Oh, I'll be running.
Just remember, put the seat down when you're finished.
I'll try.
Take care, mate.
Take it easy. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. That's Dan the man. And he's gone out of chat as well. I thought he might have stayed in the chat for a chat after, but must have upset him. That, Anthony, that was actually Dan today. If you're wondering who that picture was, that one, that's Dan. Go back to the start and watch it all, and you'll know what it is. We are going to be back all week with these games now. So tomorrow, England or Spain, and I'll be doing that with Lou. On the quarterfinal on Thursday, I'm going to be doing that with Maisie, who's a Man United ladies fan. Great girl. If you're wondering who Maisie is, if you haven't actually ever seen her or met her, let me just say, I can tell you that this is who Maisie is. It's her. She's with me on Thursday. There might be a football match breakout. Friday, we've got Sweden against Belgium. And then Sunday, I'm back in again with Doug for the Netherlands or France versus the Netherlands. 7:45 for all of them. Please join us if you can. And just remember, please, if you do want any retro sportswear, like any old Arsenal kits, because you've used the others on the bonfire or anything like that, then please get over and support these guys, because they do support Leicester Till I Die TV, 3retro.com. That's the number 3retro.com. It's your one-stop retro shirts and vintage football clothing online store, and they will ship worldwide, which is always good to know. Please, like I say, if you haven't subscribed, I would love you forever. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. If you have been listening on the podcast on Catch Up, thank you for lending me your ears. I really do appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow, 7:45. Come on, England. We can do it. Let's go all the way. And, well, football is actually a home because it's here. So it's not coming home. It is home. Let's just make sure that we keep it. See you tomorrow. Good night. Thanks very much for watching and listening, and in the chat for joining in. Good night.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Cool. I'm out of here. Ooh, that's a wrap.
Some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now.